Thank you guys for 100 subscribers. Guys, you guys are awesome. Today, we have a plethora of parts. And we're sponsored by Juice. So, no, I'm just lying. Stay tuned for the install of all these parts. As you saw in the title of the video, you guys should know this is a long form style video. We have brand new foot pegs, we have some knuckle protectors, and we have some shorties. We have grill protectors, and we have some mirrors. You really can't see the mirrors in that shot, but here it is. But we're gonna install these parts because I don't want to make them short here and there. I just want to do the whole process so you guys can see what does it take to upgrade your motorcycle. We have the Ninja 500, and if you guys have been watching this channel, you guys already know some of the upgrades we've already done to it. But today's video, why do we seem a little crooked? There we go. In today's video, we're going to focus on upgrading some things here and there, as well as the radiator protector and some new mirrors, because these style mirrors, they're all right. Right here, you guys can see them here, but they do get in the way when I'm riding with like, some big knuckled gloves, so they do get in the way and it's a little annoying. So I'm gonna swap them out for some doper ones you guys are gonna see here. So let's go ahead and start off with these foot pegs. These are the passenger foot pegs, and although they seem pretty dark, they don't have any like pizzazz, you know, like something sticking out. So I went ahead and ordered these. As you can see, these are much nicer. They'll stick out better than all the black. It'll be like a nice little red accent to accent the red on the motorcycle. So we went ahead and ordered these. Now these do have directional, so you can see here it says R for right, so this one goes on this side, and then L for the left side. Where is it at? Right here. There's an L right there. We can focus there. Right here is an L, and that's for the left side. So I'm going to show you guys how to take out this. It does come with your springs. You can see here your springs and your washers, so that way you can replace the stock one. So I'm going to get in closer, and all you're going to need are either a flathead screwdriver and or a needle nose pliers. It could be this size, it could be a lot smaller, but this is a nice size for gripping. So right here on the back side of your foot peg, you have what's called a C-clip. Now this C-clip, you can put in your flathead screwdriver and twist it a little, but you want to make sure you hold on to that C-clip because it will go flying. Oh, like it almost did there. You can see it almost went flying, but this is your C-clip right here. That's what it looks like. It's called a C-clip because it's in a shape of a C, simple as that. We're going to put that to the side, and we're going to push out the pin, and with your needle nose you can go ahead and grab it and pull it out, and it's going to come out. Now when you remove this back end, you want to make sure that you do not pull it out too harshly, but instead do pull out this entire part, because here, right here, if you don't grab all this, that ball that's held with the spring right here, it's like a little ball bearing, it's going to come out flying. So we want to grab this part here, take out the ball bearing, and inside you'll see a spring and a large washer on this side. You take the right side and pretty much mimic what we just took off. So first the provided spring, it has its own provided spring. Okay, the ball bearing, and you can see it sits right there. I'm gonna grab the stock washer, the whole piece like this, the whole assembly, and we're just going to squeeze it in there as best as we can. And you can see it all squeezed in perfectly. Now you can take your flathead and push that washer a tad bit in, so that way we can get that pin to go in. And since we moved the washer with the screwdriver, we're going to push that pin through. And now at the bottom, all we need to do is put in that C-clip. And the best way to put it on is to put it where you want it, and then tighten it down with the needle nose. So we're going to grab one edge and then grab the edge of the C-clip, and there it goes. And that looks much nicer. So we're going to repeat the same thing on the other side, and it's pretty much rinse and repeat. It's exactly the same thing. It gives it a much nicer look. So on the other side, you already know what to do. We're not going to bore you with that. What I would do is add some grease in between this washer And this back end, because the stock washer was not gonna fit, this is the stock washer, it is much thicker, but this metal here is much thicker on the upgraded version. And as you can see there, it looks much nicer on the bike. There's the other side, and it was that easy. Like I said, as long as you know what you're doing, it'll look amazing. And you can see the accent compared to the color, and then we have the other little red parts right there as well. It is looking amazing. So now let's move on to the levers. I know a lot of people are scared about the levers, but I'm going to show you the easiest way to do it. Now for the levers, as you can see, these are the ones we have. They're aftermarket as well. As you can see, they're aftermarket, but I really didn't like these because they were too much play. But as you can see, this is the size difference. These are much shorter. These are much sleek looking, much nicer. As you can see, that's what they look like. A deep socket 10 millimeter, because this is a 10 millimeter. And for underneath, you're gonna need a 10 millimeter open style wrench. I'm gonna show you how easy that is by just holding on to one and loosening the other. Once we have it loose, all you have to do is remove it. And this is the brake side. The brake side comes out of the brake master or the brake cylinder, just like that. We're going to go ahead and literally just insert, make sure that front lever, this lever here, hits that brake sensor for the light, and all we have to do is just pop in the pin, and once again screw it in. Now these are adjustable, so you can adjust it however you like, and I'm going to show you how to do that here in a minute. Now when you're done putting in that screw, make sure the bottom, we do the same. We put in that screw, and we can go ahead and tighten from the bottom as well. Make sure it's tight. Now, in order to put this pin in, let me back up here a little bit. In order to put in this pin, you do have to push in that brake cylinder right here, and you're going to push in hard and push towards it. But this feels much better. It doesn't have as much play as the previous one, and you can always adjust them. Like I said, for the brake, I don't like to have it too close to number one because it's going to be too close to my hands, and one small slip and I can brake and fly forward. That's not what we want. So I'll usually put it like between 4 and 5. If it sticks out farther, less play, maybe 5. I put it on 5 and it sticks out a little bit farther. So it looks amazing. I don't know what you guys think, but I'm digging this side. So let's go on to the other side, which is much trickier, and I'll show you why. Now for the left side, two things are gonna happen. We need to loosen up our wire length right here. And then we're going to loosen it up. Now the reason we need to loosen up the wire is because we need to take out the wire that's underneath here. So the way you do it is you grab your screwdriver and you would loosen up this top ring, and then you can proceed to loosen up this bottom one, or this little tube here. So try to loosen up as much as you can, or if you want to loosen it completely, you can do that. And then we're going to proceed to do the same, but in this case we have less room for the wrench underneath, so you can kind of like open style it like that, or you can put the socket underneath and the wrench at the top, and then just do the opposite. So you'd loosen it up, lefty loosey, righty tighty. So lefty loosey, we're just gonna go left side, and we're going to loosen the whole thing up. We can take it out, but we need to do one extra step here. We need to pull it out, try to pull as much as that wire and twist it. Even if it's stuck in there, we still have to twist it and take it out. And then we don't want to lose that little washer that you saw. It's like a little plastic washer, if you want to call it that. We want to leave that in there. And that's it. And there you go. Now you've successfully taken off your lever. We're going to rinse and repeat the same step.
But we didn't rinse and repeat. As you can see, we snapped off this switch. Now this switch is to prevent your bike from turning on when the clutch is not engaged. So fix it.
We're gonna fit this washer or this wire underneath. We're gonna make sure it clips in, and now we twist it, and we're gonna push back into the tube itself. Now this tube here, you're gonna have to try to tighten it up, but we don't want to tighten it up yet because we want to make sure we have enough slack. Now the same deal goes here. We're gonna push in and we're gonna try to line up this hole here. So let's loosen it just a tad bit. And we're gonna push in for that clutch and try to push.
Now that click you heard was me snapping that pin. Make sure that that bottom lever of that lever pushes that pin first.
Now here's one piece you want to pay close attention to, because you do not want to snap this off like I kind of did. But you want to make sure that this part here pushes that in first, instead of trying to push it in and snapping it off. Pushes it in, and then you put in that top pin. So that's what we're going to do right now.
And if you're wondering how I fixed it, I just used CA glue and it worked perfect. I wrote it that same night, no issues whatsoever.
Next item on the list are these mirrors and these bar ends. Now on the end, we did have some protective sliders or bar sliders, however you want to call them. To be honest, every time I wore my high knuckle gloves, this mirror would become a nuisance. They do have great visibility, but when I grab it with my hand, the knuckles, my gloves will get in the way. So we're replacing these with knuckle protectors, and we're replacing the mirrors as well. But first, let's get to the knuckle protectors. Now these are gonna go right at the ends, and it's going to match the bike real nice. So let's go ahead and install these. I'm gonna show you how to install these properly on at least the Ninja 500. You guys already saw on the Ducati how it's done. Now we're gonna see it with a threaded end at the end. I believe this one is a 6mm. So you're gonna get a 6mm hex tool, and you're just gonna pretty much break that screw. Once the screw decides to finally come out, we're going to grab the correspondent one, and we're going to eliminate this because we don't need this, because our handlebars have a thread on the inside. So this is made for open style handlebars. This one already has a thread. We're just going to thread right in, and it should fall without leaving us any gaps. Now, after we've successfully installed it, what we want to do is try to assert the angle properly to the levers. So we want to make sure we have it all set nice, and then this part floats up and down. You can have it however you want, but I want to keep it with the line in line with the knuckle protector. And we're going to hold the end to the angle we want, and we're just going to torque this bolt inside there, because all this is doing is going to protect your knuckles, protect the side of the motorcycle. And you can see it looks amazing. Now, because we did get rid of the mirrors on the handlebars, we actually have newer style mirrors for the front. Let me show you what these look like. They're a carbon fiber style, but they look like for an F1 racing car. We're gonna throw them on, and I'm gonna show you how to do that one side at a time. And once again, we can use our, we need a smaller one, probably like a 4 to 5mm Allen tool. It does come with its own hardware, but in this case, these screws are going to be a 5mm hex tool versus the stock 4mm. And man, this looks crazy. They look like a bat wing kind of deal. They go up and down, but the mirror moves a lot more than what we had there stock prior to. And then if you look at it from the front, wild right now. That is insane. So yeah, let me go ahead and install the other side with the actual hardware that it came with, and then we should be done with the mirrors. Now, for the final piece, we have the radiator protector you can see here. Now, for this, we don't have to open up the fairings or anything because you can do it from here. But you need to have some small fingers try to finesse everything properly in there. Now, this protects your radiator from any rocks, sticks, anything that can puncture it, and it keeps a nice guard. It does have 4 holes, as you can see here. Let me try to bring this angle out. You got 1, 2, 3, and 4, and it's simple as popping in clips, but in this case, we're not gonna use clips. It does include its hardware where it is an Allen, and it's pretty much the same. I think it's like a 2-3 millimeter. But at the very end of the radiator, we do have a hole at the top and at the bottom, and that's where this is going to all bolt into. You can turn the wheel or the tire if you want to, if it's more comfortable for you, depending on which side you're working on. We're gonna go ahead and do that right now. Okay, so we had to loosen all 4 of them in order to get them to line up properly. We're gonna go ahead and tighten this top one first and then go down the line. So we can go from the top of the motorcycle like we can go from the bottom. But honestly, I prefer going from the top because it's much easier to see from the bottom. So you put your wrench behind the fairing and you tighten her down. So all in all, you can see we replaced the pegs, the levers, the mirrors. We've added a grille protector or a radiator protector, and we've added new mirrors, and we've added knuckle protectors. Hopefully this video helped you upgrade or install upgrades to your motorcycle. If this is some type of content you enjoy, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and make sure to share with your friends. And check out Moto-Everything, your channel for motorcycle everything. Thank you guys for 100 subscribers. Guys, you guys are awesome. I'm gonna keep uploading shorts. I'm gonna keep uploading content like this and hopefully more run videos. But I'm gonna have to say goodbye to you guys. I'm gonna have some B-roll for you guys. And like I said, make sure you share, you subscribe, you follow, and you comment so I know you guys are there watching Moto-Everything, your motorcycle channel for motorcycle everything. See you guys on the next one. Peace and chicken grease.